You see, in the Big Bang view, the first event is the Big Bang. The original, very, very dense kernel of mass energy and space exploded and began to spread out. And after a few billion years, the first stars formed as gas clouds of helium and hydrogen collapsed, and we had the first stars. And then billions of years later, our sun was formed. It's one of the younger stars in the universe, according to the evolutionists. It was a hot, molten ball of gases, and it had a gas cloud around it, and those gas clouds eventually evolved into planets, and our Earth was born about 4.5 billion years ago, and it was initially a hot, molten lava ball. It cooled and developed a crust, and it evolved an atmosphere, which then brought rain and filled the low spots on the crust. So about 3.8 billion years ago, we had our first oceans. In the evolutionary view, the sun came before the earth, and there was dry land before there was any water. But the Bible tells a very different story, a really history. God created the earth, and that was the first thing he made before he even made light, and the earth was completely covered with water. The Bible says the earth has been completely covered with water twice, the first 2 days of creation and Noah's flood. The evolutionary geologists tell us this earth has never, ever been completely covered with water. That's a massive contradiction. And then God created the dry land on day 3, and he created all of the plants. Then on day 4, he created the sun, moon, and stars. So in the Bible, grapes have been in existence longer than galaxies. And peanuts have been in existence longer than planets. And carrots have been in existence longer than comets. But that totally contradicts what the evolutionists say. And then on day 5, we have the sea creatures and the birds. And day 6, we have the land animals. When we look at the biology, there's even more contradictions. In the evolutionary view, life began in the oceans. The first creatures were sea creatures. And then millions of years after that, land plants evolved. Millions of years after that, the first dinosaurs evolved. And then millions of years after the first dinosaurs, the birds evolved. And most evolutionists believe that dinosaurs evolved into birds. And then millions of years after the first dinosaurs, the higher mammals evolved. But the Bible says something very different. The land plants were created before the sun, moon, and stars, and before the fish. And the fish and the birds were created on the same day, which means that the birds were created before the dinosaurs, because the dinosaurs were made on day 6, because they're land animals. So you cannot harmonize the Bible with the evolutionary order of events unless you do violence to the biblical text and move things around. But that's not Bible study. That's Bible mutilation.